It's Tom and Todd's Face Off on WRKO.com.
We have had Hurricane Irene blow through here. September has arrived, a beautiful, gorgeous month. The kids are back to school, and this is the best edition of Face Off you've seen in at least 2 weeks.
A lot of hype from Tom. What else is new?
Was the 9/11 10th anniversary overdone?
Yes and no. Yes, by the general media running this thing for days and days and days. It felt like we were just kind of wallowing in I don't know what, in our own misery. And then, wow, what a sweet spot. Todd broadcasting 8 to 12 on Sunday from New York. Todd and Bill Cooksey. Whoa! A sweet spot for Entercom and RKO, but even better, a sweet spot for every citizen in Massachusetts who was lucky enough to tune in.
I agree with you. It was ridiculous having a week of coverage leading up to it. I think that was just media exploitation. They love emotional stories, and there were so many they could tap into. But once we got to the weekend, I felt like it was the appropriate time to connect with this thing. And there was a ton to connect with, and it was exciting for us broadcasting from down there. And I think it was an exciting moment for the country, even though it's a sad retrospective. It's a chance to come together over an event that we need to come together over and we need to come to terms with.
Perry is currently the frontrunner. Do you think his Ponzi scheme reference to Social Security will erase that?
Well, he provided me an opportunity to be wrong once again, which I always look forward to. And I had said after the first debate, when he was playing up the Ponzi, that whole direction to criticize Social Security has always been viewed as political suicide. And I thought that Mitt Romney handled himself well. It was a great debate. I thought he drove a good wedge between himself and Rick Perry by saying you got to protect Social Security. You have to be respectful of how many people have done well. Yet the polls show Rick Perry, solid front runner. It's not hurting.
And it's particularly surprising those polls show that to be the case with senior citizens. And my thought all along has been, which demographic group among, old and young and somewhere in between understands the vagaries of life, the hardships of life? The seniors, they can deal with this, particularly if they get some reassurance, hey, we're not coming after you, but we really got to change the footing and the orientation of this program to make sure it has some stability for the future. I think Perry...
Excuse me, that might be Rick Perry right now. Let me see what he has to say.
I think Perry might be able to thread the
No,
needle.
don't worry. Tom's being nice to you. Yep. No, he favors Mitt, but he'll be nice to you. Don't worry about it. All righty, talk to you soon.
Did Sal DiMasi get enough time?
8 years is a long sentence, and I think it was fairly predictable. I had actually gone on record and thought it might even be higher. Judge Wolf has a reputation for some pretty severe sentencing with regard to these type of crimes which were alleged. And there's a pattern that's been built up, or at least a narrative, I should say, that's been built up of somehow or other slap on the wrist or very, very light sentences for political improprieties. And so
it's interesting.
DiMasi got hit.
There's a challenge with white-collar crime because you know that the person being out on the street isn't going to be a threat to anybody's safety. So it becomes more punishment and less a combination of punishment and protecting the general public. So at the same time, you want to protect the general public by punishing adequately so other people are disincentivized from engaging in the same bad behavior. 19 to 24 years were the sentencing guidelines. Considering that, 8 years was a pretty lenient sentence, but you are dealing with a guy who's 67 years old and who's been stripped of every other opportunity in his life, has no way to support his family. His family may be homeless after this, and he'll come out of prison with basically nothing, starting from scratch in his 70s. So I assume that's what the judge was thinking about. That's Face Off. Thanks for being here. Check back early and often, WRKO.com.